Hey everybody, I had a flat tire. This is our third flat tire the past week and a half, and my friend was passing by, so they took the flat tire, my friends, to get it fixed, and I'm just waiting here with the car. So I thought I'd share with y'all some reflections that I was sharing on Sunday in church, but from Exodus chapter 4. I was just meditating on this, thinking about this last week. From Exodus chapter 4. Well, here comes a truck. It's going to pass by. It's going to make a lot of noise. It's hot out, so I have to leave the windows open. And a lot of dust. Anyway, so Exodus chapter 4, we'll start with verse 1. Moses answered and said, "If they do not believe me or pay attention to me, but say, 'The Lord has not appeared to you.'" He was asking God, what do I do? What if they don't believe me? Really important question for Moses at that time. God's called him at the age of, here comes another car, the age of 80. God has called him to go free the children of Israel from Egypt, from captivity. That's an important calling. And by the age of 80, if God calls you to do something at 80 that's really big, that's probably going to be the last thing you're going to do. I mean, just generally speaking, Moses had no reason to even know that he would live till 120 even. He didn't have any reason to know that. That was a result of him, after this, spending time with God and being face-to-face with God, or as close as he could be face-to-face in the Old Testament. It wasn't face-to-face, but that was from the presence of God that he was able to live that long. That was not normal at that time. So anyways, so Moses has this big question, like global calling question for God that concerns basically the will of God and everything that God is asking him to do. And what's God's answer? He said, the Lord said to him, "What is that in your hand?" He said, "A staff." The Lord said, "Throw it to the ground." So he threw it to the ground, and it became a snake, and Moses ran from it. But the Lord said to Moses, "Put out your hand and grab it by the tail." So he put out his hand and caught it, and it became a staff in his hand. "That they may believe that the Lord, the God of their fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, has appeared to you." That's what the Lord told him. Moses has this global, humongous question. Seems like that to him, at least. And God answers him with another question. What's in your hand? Something really normal. It was not unusual for a shepherd to have a staff. For any person, for that matter, to have a staff back in those days. That was a normal thing. It wasn't like Moses had this specific, particular, unique, wow, nobody else has that talent kind of a thing, or that ability, or that gift, or whatever. Nope, it was a really normal thing. But God can do with a really normal thing what nobody can do, what no human can do with the most special and unique talent and gifting around. And I think too often that happens. We ask God about these huge questions, and we're expecting some big, huge, fancy answer. Excuse me. We're expecting God to, thunder and lightning from heaven, to give us this supernatural, spectacular answer. I think too often we do that. We expect that. We want that. When God's answering with, well, what do you have in your hand? What do you actually have? If you remember the parable of the talents that Jesus gave in Matthew 25 is one of the places. The parable of the talents, originally the word talent meant a specific weight that was used often for precious metals. It was used for other things too, but it was a weight. A talent was not a gifting or an ability, a special ability in some area that you can paint or you can sing or you can, whatever. Or you can fix cars, amazing. That was not the use of that word originally. It became to be used for, like that because of the parable of the talents. And it's basically, that parable is about what do you do with what you have? What's in your hand? We have two different versions. So we have one where the guy's got 5 talents and 2 talents, and then another one has 2 talents, and another one has 1 talent. And then the guy with 5 gets another 5. The guy with 2 gets another 2. The guy with 1 talent just buries it in the ground and gives it back to the master when he comes. But the question is, what do you do with what you already have? And that's something that we need to be reminded. I need to be reminded of much more often. Instead of looking off out there and expecting an answer to come from way over somewhere else, we should look at what we already have. God can use it. All we have to do is trust him and be faithful. You guys have a good day.